And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and over 80 show partners now, 80 categories where we want to entertain, educate, enlighten, and engage in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone, save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone, 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894. All right, we want you to bookmark realestateradiotampa.com. That's our website, blog site, a plethora of information available at realestateradiotampa.com. Just click on the Expert Contributors tab, and you can see links to all of our expert contributors. All their contact information will be available there, as well as a photo. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. We want to help you win. We want to help you live a better life and avoid a lot of the nonsense out there in the mainstream media, a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community. That's the goal of our show. So it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio and also on the phone. We've got William Crowley, a.k.a. the Credit Magician, calling in, helping people with credit improvement and identity theft prevention and recovery. But in studio, I'm going to go around the horn here and make my introductions in studio first. And back in studio, Mr. Ron Fuller, representing Centralized Showing Service. Welcome back, sir.
Brandon, thanks for having me back. We're going to talk about safety and scams today.
Safety and scams in real estate.
Lots of them.
Lots of them, and it's so important because a lot of times it's it's a female going into the home, maybe in a bad area, bad time. So yeah, great point. I love that safety and security and scams out there happening. So we'll talk about that. And also in studio, Mr. Joseph Caetano, running for Hillsborough County School Board, District 7. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. And I'm going to touch on some of your history and some of the great things you've done in your past.
Well, I was on a school board in 1981 in Massachusetts. Being a cosmetologist, somebody advised me, so why don't you run for that school board? They need somebody on there that is in the trade business because everybody else was an insurance agent and this and that.
Yep.
And so I won the seat in 1981. And when it came for re-election, they said, you going to run again? I said, no, I bought a piece of land in Florida, and I'm going to Florida. So I came to Florida in 1986.
Nice.
Specifically to open up my beauty salon, which I did in Tampa Palms. I ended up with 2 locations, 40 people, $2.5 million a year.
Nice.
W-2s, no 1099 booth renters.
Yep.
But it's a great business if you run it the right way.
Right.
And my employees stayed with me. In fact, I had 2 daughters and an ex-football player, son-in-law,
Yep.
who worked for me too.
Yeah.
And they're still in the salon business, and I'm back in the school board business.
Awesome.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I remember, and for those of you who don't know, that Joseph is my uncle here, my dad's brother, and one of the first experiences I remember coming into Tampa when I played for the University of South Florida. I saw one of the billboards that he had up. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize it at the time, and then I went to a Fellowship of Christian Athlete meeting and saw Paul.
Yeah.
Paul was there and he was the speaker. Former Buccaneer, played for the Patriots as well. Didn't he play for the Chiefs at one point?
Yeah, he played the Kansas City Chiefs in '81. He was a walk-on, and he made it.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
He played 6 years. I guess he's got his retirement.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and go to the phones. More from Mr. Caetano here shortly. Let's go to the phones. I want to bring William Crowley, a.k.a. the Credit Magician, into the conversation. Give us an update on things happening out there. All right, William.
Hey, buddy.
There he
Can
is.
you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Hey, yeah, the credit world, it can be phenomenal, but it can also be devastating if you don't know what you're doing out there. And that's why I love coming on this show, because we can forewarn the people of what to expect in the future, and then some of the good things that are happening now, especially with your personal credit. I want to talk a little bit today about the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and the Uniform Commercial Code. How much time are you going to give me? About an hour?
you got about 4.5 minutes.
Okay, well, great. Well, listen, can I go ahead and go now?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, great. Well, listen, what people need to really understand is that the consumers out there are laws that protect us. I'm not advocating that consumers get bad credit or don't pay their bills, but misfortune does happen in everybody's lives. So I'm here to help you to overcome those circumstances when and if they do occur by a legal strategy using the Fair Credit Reporting Act, aspects of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and the Uniform Commercial Code. So we're legally having people's credit repaired, and then I want to mention that you can even sue for damages once I remove the information off the credit report, and that does in fact belong to you. Most people don't know that. Even I want the information that does in fact belong to you. I tell people if you're a victim of identity theft, then file a police report, send that in, and everything will be automatically deleted. But I want, to the contrary, I want to come after the information that does in fact belong to you. Tax liens, late payments, judgments, collections, you name it. Whatever's on that credit report, let's legally address that information and have your credit report improved so that the lenders out there can have the opportunity of being able to sell you property or give you good insurance rates, good rates on your real estate or automobiles or credit cards, etc. So on. But Brandon, listen, you're going to offer the package as well, right?
We're going to do the package offer. We will. Yep.
Okay. Now, in the package, there's going to be a portion that's going to go over with what I call the identity theft or identity theft and the promotional block. Everybody should have a promotional block on their credit report. If you have a Social Security number and you're participating in commerce, then have a promotional block put on your credit report. It's a free service. You can do it indefinitely. You can limit your exposure and stop the credit reporting agencies from just selling your information to anybody at once. I think the biggest perpetrator of identity theft is the credit reporting agencies themselves because they do not scrutinize any of the people that come in to buy your information. So limit your visibility by putting a promotional block on your Social Security number, and that'll be in the package when you call me, and I can go over that as well.
Yeah, it's such an important thing in our life. You know, we weren't taught credit in school. There's no credit police per se, and it's one of these factors that can affect your auto loans, your home loans, so many aspects. I think William, what's the update? Are they still doing credit when it comes to employment, and can that affect your job as well?
Yes. If anybody is in doubt out there, just automatically assume that they're going to pull your credit. When you go to a job promotion, going to apply for a job, you name it, okay? Just if you're in doubt, then just automatically assume that they're going to pull your credit report. So be proactive in addressing those issues ahead of time.
Yeah, it's important. So, there's no credit police. We weren't taught this stuff in school, and on that point as well, we weren't taught a lot of financial aspects of our life. We graduate, and go out into this world, and, it's called a commencement when you do have that graduation. So it means commence, kind of like in the Army or something, they would say commence firing. So you're commencing into this life with a very limited amount of knowledge when it comes to credit. So what we want to do is we want to educate, entertain, empower you as listeners out there. So we're going to give you an opportunity to pull out your smartphone and give us a call or a text. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you this free credit package. Now, it's going to teach you multiple things with this credit package that we offer. Number one, how to opt out of pre-screening. Cut off all that junk mail coming to your mailbox that's further enabling these perpetrators to steal your identity. So number one, let's cut off the junk mail coming to your mailbox, reduce your chances of identity theft, which is, by the way, a growing area of criminal acts. Number two, we're going to teach you how to actually obtain a free credit report on your own. And here's a hint. It's not those guys jumping around on the TV commercials, strumming the guitar, singing those catchy tunes. It's not those guys. There's a free way to do it, and they're not going to back end solicit you for your credit card information. And then also we're going to have you have an opportunity to sit down and get a review of your credit with William Crowley, who we're talking with on the phone now, a.k.a. the Credit Magician. He's going to sit down with you and go over your credit, how to possibly improve it. And there's a lot of misconceptions. Some people think they pay off an old credit account or an old collection account, and that's going to improve their credit scores. And quite the contrary, it won't. What it does is it brings an old delinquent account to a new reporting date, and it's going to actually diminish your credit or hurt your credit. So go ahead and text now. Text the word credit to our Consumer Advocate hotline. First 5 listeners who text the word credit to our hotline, we're going to give you this free credit package, compliments of William Crowley, a.k.a. the Credit Magician. So text now to 813-917-1894. That's our hotline. Call or text at 813-917-1894 for the free credit package that we're offering from William Crowley, a.k.a. the Credit Magician. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. The best is yet to come. We're going to be back here in studio. William, thanks for calling in. Appreciate those nuggets of advice, man. And,
you got it, buddy. You got it.
And yeah, don't touch that dial. We're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes here. It's your most important hour on the radio, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on 1250 Wins. Weekend show on 102.5 The Bone. And more from Ron Fuller, Centralized Showing Service here in studio, as well as Joe Caetano running for Hillsborough County School Board. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes, your host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Tampa Bay Business Journal, and the Tribune, and other media recognized for innovations with marketing, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties through innovation and negotiation. And we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida here. And I want to touch on our property of the month for Hillsborough County. We've got 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. This is a beach park property, 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, listed at $1.195 million. Great buying opportunity. It's a state-style home, large pool in the backyard, fenced-in backyard, over 4,800 square feet, listed at $1.195 million. 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. And then right around the corner from this one in Beach Park as well is 4618 West Beach Park Drive, Tampa. And it's 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 1 half bath, listed at $799,000. A great buying opportunity. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage, and a Cape Cod-style pool home in desirable beach park. And 33609, it's one of the most popular zip codes in all of Tampa Bay. So great buying opportunities in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, and this segment is brought to you by part of my health team consisting of Michael Vogt. He's an expert massage therapist here in Tampa Bay. Giving a shout out to Michael Vogt with Back In Health Massage, helping people with neck, back, shoulder, hip, and leg pain feel better. And he's located on Gun Highway in Tampa, 3750 Gun Highway, Tampa. Voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the readers of Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards. And so we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio. We're shifting conversations now. We're going to talk to Ron Fuller, Centralized Showing Services. And what say you, sir?
Brandon, we're really growing in Tampa Bay. Centralized Showing is, the 813 area code, the whole area. We're adding a lot of agents. So we're going to talk about safety, scams, things that are really important for anybody who's listening that's a seller, a real estate agent, or even a broker. Yep. One thing I'd like to mention on the credit front, a lot of folks maybe don't realize this, but when you go to a doctor or a dentist, one of the number one areas of identity theft is coming from those forms.
Wow.
And that's according to the Consumer Warrior.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you give your social security number and your date of birth, that's the information these guys need to scam you. So I would recommend that you almost have to make them wrestle it out of your possession.
Yeah, why do they really need a lot of that information, right?
Exactly. Clark Howard said, this is a big one, guys. This is where you're going to get hit hard. And so I know that's changed my practices. When we go to the orthodontist or we go to a new dentist, I don't give that information. I say, I don't want to give you this, and you don't need it. And it's not been an issue.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll just get on with the service, get their cleaning in or whatever they're going to be doing that day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great point. Credit is so overlooked. It's it's one of those things too. We see buyers waiting to the last minute a lot of times before they pull the credit. But luckily we've got William Crowley on our team, can help you get back in track with credit. But so let's shift gears here. Let's talk a little bit more about what your business does, how it helps local realtors. I like to think we have a lot of realtors listening to our program. Sure. We got a pretty good audience here in Tampa Bay. Over the last 3 years, we built it up pretty strongly. So, and of course, a lot of real estate investors as well. The super lock boxes. There's a lot to talk about there too. I think they just did an upgrade on some of those as well. Yep. So
absolutely. And by the way, we can talk back and forth with the super lock box. We get the serial number from you. Our system will interplay with Supra. But yeah, what we do, Centralized Showing Service, in a nutshell, we handle the appointments. So we handle the appointments. We get the call made. We get that thing done. We answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, we won't call the seller at 4 in the morning, but we're there at 4 in the morning to get the call. And so you're going to see an increase in your showing activity. But then we actually do follow-up feedback, data collection, and talking about what I wanted to speak on, safety and security. See, guys, we actually verify the agent before we let them in the home. Right. So your average real estate agent out there is busy. They get a call from John Doe, and they say, okay, John Doe, here's how you get into the home. How do they really know who they're talking to?
Right.
Now, we do, because you have to go through the MLS in order to get to us. And from that point, we're verifying the agent with a code, or if they've not called in before, we're going to find out who they are. So that helps the safety of the sellers, but it also can help the safety of the real estate agent. 62% of real estate agents are females. And actually, Florida could be a little higher than that. So the point is this. You want to know who you're really talking to. Who are you meeting at the home? Often homes are vacant. Often homes maybe are out in Nowheresville. You're not, well, plus, and even if it's not, if you're inside a home, you could be in a neighborhood, but if you're in a home, you're not in a good position if you've got somebody with ill intent. So it's really important, particularly for sellers, if you have a real estate agent that has Centralized Showing Service, you know there's been some barriers put up, some firewalls, if you will, verifying who's going in. And if you're a broker, you can rest assured that your agents have an extra step, because centralized showing service will not allow an appointment if we are not able to verify the agent. It's simple as that.
Yeah, it's important. It's very important. We saw just 2 or 3 years ago there was a female that went into a home. There was a assailant that attacked, and there's these things happen.
Yeah,
it happens a lot, and it does come down to safety. There's scams every day. We're learning of new types of scams. I just had last month a potential. There was a listing of mine that someone went on Craigslist, created a fake ad, met someone there, and actually physically handed them cash. That somehow they got a key. Maybe they broke the lockbox off, got a key, or maybe had a key made. But yeah, so these scammers are out there. There's so many different types of scams. You got to protect yourself. By the way, if you just joined us, you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host, and we're talking with Ron Fuller with Centralized Showing Service here in Tampa Bay.
Okay, one other thing that really want to talk to the folks about. Guys, there is a big, scary scam going on, and it is when you go to close. Somehow people are finding out that you're about to close on a loan. You'll get the email. Congratulations. Here's where you send your 200, 300,000, 10,000, whatever it is. Here's how you send it. Here's the routing number. Congratulations. So you send the money. You show up at the title company, and they say, hey, where's your money? What do you mean? I just sent it to you. No, you didn't. That wasn't us.
Yeah.
The money's gone.
Yep.
So this is a big problem. Now, I would recommend you physically go to your title company and actually talk to them or call their number that you know is their number to verify.
Right.
Did you send me this? And please tell me the routing number and tracking so I know it's correct. Now, we often talk about why you should hire a professional real estate agent. So this is another example. Trying to go on your own. How many people buy a car without a Carfax? Maybe a used car for your daughter, $3,000, $4,000 car. You still investigate it. Why in the world would you buy a $200,000 or $300,000 home on your own and have all of the potential of loss like that?
Right.
So I'm a big advocate of checking things out. But with your title company, you should be able to actually touch them before you send any money. You know exactly who you're calling, or you actually visit the office. Yeah,
it's interesting. We had Abe on the show last time a few weeks ago from Total Title.
Yep.
And he was saying how there was an issue as well that they had happened with maybe he had heard about a transaction is what it was. But yeah, so it does happen. It's one of those things, and that's one thing I love about this show is that we get to bring on experts and contributors that can educate our listeners. I want to remind you as a listener as well, go to YouTube. Type in Real Estate Quarterback Show. All of our videos are there, so you can research kind of any category that you want to know more information about. We're also on iTunes. You can pull up our podcast on any smartphone device on the iTunes smartphone app feature as well. But
hey, Brandon, can I brag on you real quick? Okay, so folks out there, listen. I see Brandon when the show's over, the mics are off. He's asking questions. The expert contributors, he's digging in, saying, I want to know more about this. This guy's amazing. So, he's really practicing what he's preaching. And I wanted to give you a shout out on that.
Thanks, Ron. I appreciate that, man. I really do. That's one of the goals we have is to be that consumer advocate, help people live a better life, because there's so much commission-based advice out there. I call it commission breath. Everywhere you turn, you got commission breath flying, and there seems to be ulterior motives with a lot of different industries, and one of the most that I've seen, especially in light of Tony Robbins' new book called Money Master the Game, is the financial services industry. It's the only industry where you can buy a vehicle for $23,000 or the same type of to use that metaphor, and you could pay triple, quadruple, or more of that particular. So hey, stay with us. Don't touch that dial. We're going to talk about plan to reshape Tampa still lacks one key thing. A name. We're going to talk about that story, as well as we're going to hear from Joe Caetano running for the Hillsborough County School Board District 7, and more from our experts in studio. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show and RealEstateRadioTampa.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. And I want to remind you, we have our book available. Book 1 is out on Amazon, the Real Estate Quarterback's Consumer Advocate Playbook. And we also have our second book that is almost completed. Connor Anthony's co-authoring that book with me, and it's the Become the MVP of Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. So very cool, insightful book on how you can grow your sphere of influence by utilizing several key functions, but the show is typically about helping you grow your show. And we also, I want to remind you, we have a branding package that we offer to business owners out there. We are looking for select categories, business owners that might be interested in coming on air with us, and you'll be featured on the show. You're also going to have the video and MP3 content that you can utilize. We call it legacy content. It's great to be emailed out, repurposed to your contacts, and also on websites and social media. And invites to our monthly gratitude parties. We have business functions and live events where you'll be invited and you'll give an opportunity to speak in front of the room and give your elevator pitch, and also an opportunity to become a published author. We're constantly updating our book, so it's a great time for you to send in your top nuggets of advice, and we'll publish that in our book, and you'll become a published author at that point, as well as any introductions to past guests or partners, social media, websites, press releases to promote you, live events, so many things available with our branding package. So we're looking for business owners that might want to join us on air. Check out our website for more information and submit the form at realestateradiotampa.com. You can also give us a call on our hotline, 813-917-1894. We'd love for you to save that number in your phone. Just put that number in, 813-917-1894. Hit send, then hang up, and then save it in the phone as Brandon Rhymes, the real estate quarterback, direct dial to me. And my promise is to get back to you before my head hits the pillow. We're going to help you with whatever you're facing out there. And we're your number one consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida. This segment is brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Shout out to the Maids, as well as Hula Bay as the official restaurant partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Waterfront ambiance, excellent food, commendable service, and it's located on Tyson Avenue in South Tampa, just south of Gandy. Great waterfront dining experience. Go say hello to Mike Finnegan and his team over at Hula Bay, the official restaurant partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And we're back here in studio, live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa. First segment, we heard from Ron Fuller, Central Line Showing Service, and now we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk to Mr. Joseph Caetano. We normally don't talk politics on the show. As you know, we've had, in the past, we've had all the local mayors on our show. Mr. Bob Buckhorn's been on the show, St. Petersburg Mayor Rick Kreisman, Clearwater Mayor George Creticus. We've had Congressman Dennis Ross, I believe, on the phones before as well. And so now we're talking to Mr. Joseph Caetano. He's running for Hillsborough County School Board, District 7. And got a list of accomplishments here on the back of your card there, Joseph. A lot of good things happening, man.
Well, you got to work at it. That's the only way. You got to work hard at whatever you're doing.
That's right.
I started in politics actually in 1971.
Yeah.
I have a picture in my card, and people say, "When did you take that picture?" I says, "I guess in 1971." They said, "It looks like you today." I says, "Well, I take care of myself. I don't abuse my body."
There you go.
The only thing I get involved in is I love politics. I started at the Northeast Regional Metropolitan Vocational School in Massachusetts. 12 communities built this school. We had about 12 to 1,300 students. They go there to learn a trade. They have an exploratory program. You pick 4 subjects that you want to be a carpenter, a plumber, electrician, a cosmetologist.
Yep.
And then in the 10th grade, you go to one of those courses that you excelled in. And you might have picked carpentry, and you'll learn right up to building a house. It does everything.
That's awesome.
And you see some of these kids, they don't know how to pick up a hammer, but they learn how to hit a nail on the head.
Yeah.
And not hit their fingers.
That's cool. Hard knocks right there.
Yeah, it's you learn. And then back in 1992, I was elected to the Tampa Palms Community Development District because the developer controlled it for a number of years. And then the local residents, I was one of the first elected. It's a pretty big organization. I was the 300th family to move into Tampa Palms, and I think now they probably have somewheres around 1,500 homes there, 2,000 homes. I don't know exactly because I moved away from that area. And in '96, I ran for the school board against 9 candidates. I got 20,450 votes. My message was we need to teach vocational education.
Right.
Because in the future, not everybody's going to go to college, and those who prepare for college and they don't go to college, they've got nothing to fall back on.
Yeah.
But you take a kid who is learning welding, whatever he's going to be learning,
Yep.
he has that. He can go all over the world with that.
Exactly.
And it's great. And the school board, they're policy setters. They set the policy. Sometimes you'll get a superintendent who is egotistical and they want to do this, and it's not practical sometimes. Right. And it's the school board that has to make the determination whether they're going to vote on it or get rid of it.
Right.
For instance, the school board that's in there now didn't get along with the superintendent, so they wanted to buy the superintendent's contract out, which they did, $1,100,000.
Wow.
And now they're hearing a lot of repercussions. They got over 26,000 employees.
Wow.
Staff, teachers, that's a lot of people. And in 2015, they had 206,000 students. Out of 206,000 students, 73% graduated. 27% did not graduate. That's 55,000 kids. They didn't go to a vocational school. If they had gone to a vocational school, that probably would have been cut in half. Maybe some of those kids might need one subject to graduate. So they got to get it. You got to get them while they're young before they get out and learn some bad habits.
Yeah, and the thing now, too, is a lot of the kids that do go to college, they have this crazy amount of debt. student loan
Oh,
debt.
yeah. Well, they have student loan debt. I sold a building to a plastic surgeon in Tampa Palms, and he says, I can't do that. I got 15 more years on my student loan. He's making big money.
Wow.
Big money.
Yep.
He's a plastic surgeon. He does everything.
Yep.
But you got to use common sense.
Right.
I mean, when I opened my business in Tampa Palms in '88, I started with 3 people. Every day there was new people wanting to come to work for me. I mean, then I ended up with 6,550 square feet in one shopping center. I opened a second place, and when I got elected to the Tampa City Council in '07, I figured I better unload some of my headaches. So I sold one of them, and the girl is still operating it. She's doing well.
Wow.
She worked for me, and I put her up there, and she said she wanted to buy it, so I sold it to her. She's doing well. It's a lot of work and dedication.
Right.
You know, keep the place clean, make it look nice, and good customer service.
That's right.
That's what's important. And the city council is different. Of course, we got a very strong mayor. I mean, the mayor is the god, if you want to call it that.
Right.
You know, whatever he says goes. And New Tampa gives probably about $30 million a year in taxes to the city of Tampa. That's just in real estate tax. Then you have your sales tax. Then you have your gas tax, your electric tax. They own the water and sewer system.
Right.
And it's important. The people love New Tampa.
Yep.
It's nice there. The roads, they're expanding Bruce B. Downs Boulevard, and I think it's going to end up with 8 lanes.
Wow.
And it's a mess while it's going on, but it will be done by the end of the year. So it should give the people a lot of relief. I know a girl that owns a flower shop there. She's, Joseph, this is killing me.
Yeah.
She says, you know, people don't want to stop. It's dirty out there. And I said, well, you just got to bear with it, and it'll come back.
Yeah.
But we got a political thing going on over the world, the whole world, especially here in the United States.
Right.
It's I don't know what's going to happen, who's going to be on top.
Yep.
But to me, the people have to be on top.
Exactly.
The people who are working every day to make a living, and some of these young kids, if they don't learn, if they don't take a good college course and go to college, like you say, they're going to be inundated with the student loans. Now, if they go to a trade school, they're not going to have a loan.
Right.
They're going to be able to go to work when they get out of school. Our graduation rate out of 27% that fail, but you have the 73% that do pass and go to college. They can make money.
And right now, that's one of the key things that I hear from our business owners that we bring on the show is finding good help, whether it's a home builder, people that are, you know, installing security systems, or, you know, any of these types of businesses that require on that manual labor, or those tradesmen. I shouldn't say manual labor. I should say tradesmen, the blue collar type of workers that, you know, built this country, that built, you know, everything that we drive on. We go into these buildings, we have homes that we live in. You know, it's built by these types of folks that work with their hands. They're hands on, and you know, again, it should be respected. So we're coming up against a break here, but we're going to talk about a plan to reshape Tampa. Still lacks one key thing, and that's a name. And so we're going to hear more from our expert contributors here in studio today, more from Ron Fuller and Joseph Caetano, running for Hillsborough County School Board. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show and realestateradiotampa.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. And we got a Pinellas County Property of the Month here. It's 13235 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 409 in Madeira Beach. Beautiful property here. Madeira Bay Resort 2 condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, community pool, condominium, condo hotel. And it's listed at only $239,000. So it's a great turnkey condo. You can utilize it to live in, or you can rent it out at times when you don't want to have it. It's right within walking distance of John's Pass. And, of course, you walk across the street and you put your toes into the beautiful beaches of Madeira Beach.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by Source One Solutions, Honeywell provider. And Source One Solutions, giving a shout out to Robert Hessel. He's our home security partner, as well as Target Surveying. They do a great job on real estate surveys, and Total Title Solutions does our real estate title closings. They're a partner for real estate title closings, and as a for sale by owner, you pick the title company, and I would recommend Total Title Solutions. And so plan to reshape Tampa still lacks one key thing, and that's a name. So it says, the story reads, is out of the Associated Press, it says $35 million worth of infrastructure roadway construction will begin on the project that will transform downtown Tampa. Roads will be extended, sidewalks widened, and more on-street parking will be added. But the billion-dollar real estate development, which was launched by the Tampa Bay Lightning owner Jeff Finnick, has been in planning stages for 5+ years, still lacks an essential ingredient, a name. So he says, without that, people and news reports have been calling it the Jeff Finnick Project. And officials with strategic partners offered little insight into which way they'll announce a name. And so it's interesting. You know, it talks about how the growth in downtown. It's talking about a waterfront district. It's going to be the first ever wellness district in the world. And, you know, there's been investment from Bill Gates for Microsoft. So some interesting things happening downtown. We talked about the story as well with Buckhorn's budget downtown. You know, some controversy about him spending an excessive amount of money on the pool on Harbor Island, I guess it was. But, you know, it's interesting. So the one thing we know that Tampa is growing. There's a lot of infrastructure being developed into downtown Tampa, and you know, any comments on that? Any comments on that?
Yeah. Of course, the mayor can do what he wants. He's got the purse strings for the money. Mm-hmm. We got from the BP oil spill about $27 million. Yeah. And across the street from where the waterworks are, he's going to build another park. Right. About $37 million. You know how many parks he has built in New Tampa? And that's been in existence for 25 years. He has built 0.
Wow.
Okay? And a lot of money comes out of New Tampa.
Right.
I know the people don't like it. I don't like it, even when I was on a city councilor, but I was only one vote.
Right.
And it's just not fair. And you got to be equitable with everybody. Everybody wants their fair share.
Right.
But he does what he wants.
Yeah.
He's got a vision of going up to Tallahassee in 2018.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can find a bus to go up there.
We'll see. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to enter the lightning round. This is going to be consumer tips, nuggets of advice. We're going to talk consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid, nuggets of advice.
Well, I might sound like a broken record. Hire a professional. When you're dealing with real estate, do it the right way. It's too big of an investment. So please use a professional real estate agent, and make sure the real estate agent uses centralized showing service, because if they've invested in us, you can be sure that they've looked at their business over the big picture and they're doing things right. And I'm really encouraged about vocational school. I'm glad you're talking about that. It's time for people that are turning 17 or 18 to decide, what kind of job do you want? Don't say, well, I'm going to college. Hey, I'm going to party and meet girls. No, you're growing up now.
Right.
What do you want to do as a job?
Right.
You want to work in construction. Maybe you can send your life in a different direction. And nobody says if you don't have college by 18, 19, or 20, you can't always go back.
Right.
Focus on a job you might want to do, make some money, grow up a little bit, and you can always go back to school if you need to. But vocational, Joe, that's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
that's good advice. That's good advice.
Yeah.
I know I changed my life after being a police officer. Did this at 45. I changed my life and went to hairdressing school.
Yep.
I mean, I should have done it when I was 18, but I wasn't smart enough at 18.
Well, you're a different person from 18
Yeah.
to 25 to even 30.
But the cost for our school board this year per student, based on the budget that's going to the school board today, is $13,170.08 per student. And just for the operating funds, it's $7,100. Okay, so it's expensive, and most districts are spending between $6,000 and $7,000 per student. Of course, we got a lot of staff.
Yeah.
I see people who are going for their doctorate degree. They're teaching a certain subject. They get their doctorate degree. They come back to teach the same subject at more pay. And I mean, you would think that you would be elevated to a more higher position,
Right.
and something that's going to be more important in life for those kids.
Yeah.
But I call it the career path to their future and their family.
Yeah, right. Go get educated, get more. And to that point you were making earlier, Ron, too, is that a lot of times too you may want to be self-employed. It's not just about it's kind of like the rich dad, poor dad story of hey, go work for this corporation, get the pension that used to be out there, and kind of get settled in that W-2 type of life. And a lot of my family on both sides, and it's been self-employed, real estate and furniture and appliance stores and health food stores, different things. So that's one thing that I really take great pride in, is being self-employed.
Yes.
Signing my own paycheck. And you can do that in many different areas. So, but it's a great point, is that find out where your strong suits are. Find out, number one, what you're most passionate about. What is your why? What would you be juiced about? Wake up every day.
Yes, juiced, yes.
If I could wake up every day and do this, then I know I'm not going to work a day in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, if you can enjoy what you're doing, oh my goodness. My father broke out of the automotive mold. We come from Michigan, and it was just assumed you'd work for General Motors, Ford, or Chrysler. He went a different route. He said, I'm going to do something different, and we're even going to move out of the state. Rather than just following in the footsteps. But one other thing too, Brandon, I talked about on a previous show, don't bring up politics in our business.
Yep.
But since we've got Joe here, one thing I want to encourage everybody is you need to vote.
Yeah.
If you don't like either candidate, you need to vote. People died and spilt their blood so we would have the right in this amazing country to vote. So you decide which one you like better. You might not like either candidate, but you owe it to your country, to your children, and to all the men and women who spilt their blood to vote for one of the two that are better.
That's right. Or write someone in. Write someone in. And Joe, you served in the military as well.
I was in the United States Marine Corps. I got out of school in 1953, Chappaqua, New York, where Miss Hillary Clinton lives. And in January, I was in Parris Island, going to boot camp.
Nice.
And the Korean War was on, but when I got to Korea, it was over. They saw me coming, so they stopped.
Joe's coming.
Yeah, it's interesting, and a lot of my family members were my father was in
Yeah,
your
he's in
brother,
there. Yeah.
my father, and so great point. And on yesterday's show too, we were talking about veteran loans. That's one thing our country got right. We talk about the
Amen.
the VA scandals. That I think there can't be anything worse than our veterans, trying to get health care and not being able to get it. And I know there was a scandal on the news yesterday about, the Obama administration spending a lot of money on certain, some kind of a rock that was $500,000 outside of one of the hospitals and things like that. But one thing our country did get right is the VA loan program. This is the Real Estate Quarterback Show, so I figured I'd mention it when we're talking about this, is that 100% financing available. So if you're buying, selling, or looking to invest in real estate, if you haven't used your VA certificate, it's a great time to do it. And you can also refinance with that as well, pull out some cash, maybe start a business. There's so many things that you can do. So we got about a minute left, so I wanted to get your parting words of advice. Any other parting words?
Well, Joe, thank you for serving. I'm so proud of this country and the men and women in the military. Thank you all out there. You do so much for us. I love patriotism and proud to be an American. So God bless everyone who has served.
Yep. Joe, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'd just like to add one thing. My wife was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and she passed 2 years ago. She was She went on, got her master's degree and her bachelor's degree at Fitchburg State College. She was a great worker, and that's the only way you accomplish those things.
That's right. Yep. Got to work hard out there, guys.
Dedication.
That's right. Dedication, hard work. So I want to thank Ron Fuller, Centralized Showing Service, for coming in studio, being a partner of our show. I want to thank Joseph Caetano coming in. Remind you to get out there and vote. He's running for Hillsborough County School Board, District 7. The election is August 15th, 28th. That's the primary election. And so thanks to all of our listeners and our team behind the scenes making this happen. And I want to remind you, check out our YouTube channel, a plethora of video content, great videos out there. Former USF football coach Jim Levitt and all great video content there as well. And we want to remind you, go out there and please consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time, same time and place.